die. As the Prophet ﷺ said, they are actually a sadaqa jariyah. Waladun salihun yad'u lahu, the pious child who prays for his parents. This is important. Let me try to outline something. If your intention for not having children, for limiting children, is because of financial constraints, sister, then this is a serious doubt in the belief of the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the belief of the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is an essential of Iman, to believe in the qadr, the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah clearly, explicitly and categorically mentions in the Quran, نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُكُمْ وَإِيَّاهُمْ. We are the ones who feed you and them. And by the way, the scholars say, if you want to be financially healthy, then increase your progeny. You will have abundance in rizq. It's one of the means to increase your financial status, not to constrain your financial status. And if the reason for you to limit children is probably you have a fear, I don't know what will happen, I cannot look after them, what will happen to them in the future, then this is an unjustified fear of the future. As Muslims, we don't brood over the future. That's in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to actually put our effort and do as much as we can. And with regards to something I would mention before I conclude your answer, if it's with regards to family planning, you want to family plan just for the sake of one kid to be healthy, then I have another child, then I can breastfeed in the amount required, medically, then that's fine. You can actually have this family planning and delay having children. But to restrict the number of children, that's not accepted Islamically. Wallahu a'lam, Allah knows best.
You're watching Horizon Television, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The 19th day of Ramadan is here with us. Alhamdulillah. We started just the other day. Today we are on date 19. Let's thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that and pray to Allah to grant us the ability to witness the end of Ramadan. We started this journey with many, but again, they left us on the road. Ladies and gentlemen, ignorance is no excuse. We have a lot of blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with us, particularly the Kenyan Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. When you sit down and contemplate and start counting the ni'mas of Allah, then you will not even a single, not even a minute, will you able to count all of them to the end. As the Kenyan Muslims, many years ago, the 16-kilometer coastal strip was included to be part of the Kenya. This was effort by the Queen of the British, an agreement between her and the Sultan of Zanzibar. But again, part of the deal that saw Kenya to have this 16-kilometer coastal strip was to include the Kadhis court, which initially handled matrimonial issues, talk of divorce cases, talk of marriage issues, and talk of inheritance. Many years ago has passed, over 50 years to be precise. The Kadhis court has grown to be one of the strong Muslim institutions that we celebrate right here in the country. But again, how many of you know about that? Hence our topic today, we are looking at the effectiveness of the Kadhis court. But before we look at how effective it has been, how well do you know the Kadhis court for you to determine whether it has been effective or not? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Live Real Talk with your host Faisal Kassim as we demystify the Kadhis court. And joining me this evening to discuss this amazing topic and to break it down, we have the first Deputy Chief Kadhi under the new constitution promulgated in 2010. We're talking about Sheikh Rashid Ali Omar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And next to him we have an advocate of the High Court who's our very young brother Farah Jama'a. Assalamu alaikum. And last but not least, we have Well, last but not least, we have the sitting Deputy Chief Kadhi, who is Sheikh Sukyan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, gentlemen, welcome. Jazakumullah khair. Starting with you, Sheikh Rashid Ali Omar. Let's talk about the Kadhis court. Would you mind telling us, give us a brief history of the Kadhis court, please?
Alhamdulillah. وأصلي وسلم على محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله ومن والاه أما بعد. The Kadhis court, in brief, has been there even during colonial time. And just as you have mentioned, part of the deal which was being made by the Sultan of Zanzibar and the Kenyan government that this court should be retained as it is to serve the Muslims with the jurisdiction which has been agreed upon and which has been in the even previous constitution and this constitution also. And by that time the courts were very few. And as the Kenya actually got its independence, it developed because the institutions are evolving and the judiciary is changing also. There is a paradigm shift in the judiciary so that services should be given to the growing population of the country. And at the same, the judiciary, we can remember that in our area where we come from, there were no much courts there. Now the courts did expand and they continue expanding. The same is applied actually, can be said actually to the Kadhis court. And it has been said that it has developed during Mtunga time. It has become a bit expanded to the area where it was being required. And still, I think there is need for the expansion of the Kadhis court.
There is still need for the expansion of the Kadhis court.
It is, even we have not reached to actually a quota of what actually we wanted them to go.
And we'll definitely get together. Sheikh Sukyan, everyone has a particular idea regarding the Kadhis court. Everyone, the mic is okay, Sheikh, just put it close to the mic, is okay. Everyone has a particular idea regarding the Kadhis court. Everyone develops a notion regarding the Kadhis court. Would you mind to set the records clear and straight? What are the mandates of the Kadhis court, of this amazing institution?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My dear Muslim and non-Muslim viewers. First of all, I want to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us this opportunity to discuss about this very, very important topic. I also wish to thank Horizontv for giving us this opportunity again for the purpose of demystifying or educating Muslims and non-Muslim, the Kenyans and non-Kenyans about the Kadhis court. The Kadhis court is a very, very historical institution, judicial institution. In fact, I could say that it is the first formal judicial institution ever established in Kenya. The history goes back way to pre-colonial, not actually colonial, pre-colonial. During the Sultanate reign, the Kadhis court used to operate like any other court, handling every matter that comes before them. When the colony came and the agreement was entered, still the Kadhis court jurisdiction was to some extent reduced, but it continued to be recognized and doing its own work.
Maybe just a clarification, to be reduced from what to what?
Yes. It used to handle the criminal cause, the land cases, commercial, everything.
In the country or in the island of Zanzibar?
In the island of the Zanzibar.
Okay.
Not only the Zanzibar, actually, of course, the reign of the Sultan.
Okay.
Okay, the governance. And the Queen, when it comes, previously, especially apart from the criminal issue, even the criminal cases used to handle, just like magistrates.
Okay.
The court's ordinance 1931 is the one that reduced the jurisdiction of the Kadhis court into family matters.
1931.
1931. That is now where we continued from, and then the Kadhis court was recognized operating the same way.
Is that after the 16-kilometer coastal strip became part of the country?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Then that's what really happened, and the Kadhis court used to be limited to the coastal strip only. But I could say that it is a courtesy of the custodians that today the rest of the Kenyans are enjoying this facility today.
Okay.
Really.
Back to the question, sir.
Therefore, the court comes from where, and now we have been reduced into the matter of the personal status, and the issue of the divorce, the marriage, and inheritance. For your information, personal status covers a lot of area. In fact, the marriage and the divorce is part of the personal status.
Okay.
It covers issues related to the children care, their custodies, their welfares. It covers issues of the work endowments, the gifts, so many things.
Okay.
Therefore, it's a very, very wide area. Unfortunately, the understanding of the Kenyans were limited only to issue the marriage, divorce, and
but again, it covers
and inheritance.
And inheritance, but it covers personal status, which includes the children.
With children and other areas that I've mentioned, endowment, the work that we are using.
Okay.
Okay, the gifts. There's so many areas. But now our understanding was only limited to what has been outlined in the Constitution or in the Act.
I'd like you to repeat again, just to set the record straight.
Yes.
Personal status.
Yes.
Please break it down. You say children.
The issue of the personal status is not limited only to marriage and divorce.
Okay.
The children and their welfare. When we talk of children, it's a whole area, flooded area.
Okay.
So much.
Yes.
The custody comes here.
Okay.
The breastfeeding comes in here.
Yes.
The education comes in.
Yes.
The entire welfare of the kids comes in here. Okay. The categories of the kids who are in need of special care. Okay. For example, the capacity of the. Okay. The issues related to. Apart from the kids, the children, there are also issues of the other relatives, the parents, parental cares, the parent care.
Still related to the Kadhis court.
Exactly.
The Kadhis court.
You have the duty as a son to take care of your old parents.
Thank you.
These issues is not imagined in our courts, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's so wide area.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Brother Farah, Jama'a, just to leap you in, have you interacted with the Kadhis court before?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, I'm a practitioner. I practice in all courts, including the Kadhi's court.
What's your notion on the Kadhis court? What do you think about the Kadhis court?
The Kadhi's court, and I noticed that among all the courts we have in Kenya, in terms of efficiency, time that a matter takes, the Kadhi's court is the most efficient.
Okay.
Especially here in Nairobi, the one where I practice, I can say Alhamdulillah. And also they get very good reviews from advocates who are non-Muslims in terms of time. Okay. Because the issue of time is a challenge across the board for the whole of the judiciary.
Thank you. Lovely. Fair enough. Sheikh, let's slaughter it in. About the jurisdiction of the Kadhis court. According to Article 170 of the Constitution, people who should appear before Kadhis court are Muslims and those who submit to the court. Now what happens to a Muslim who does not submit to the court?
Okay. It is true. The submission phrase was not there before in the previous constitution. And up to now, it is a mystery how that portion or that phrase was being fixed there inside.
Okay.
According to the law, everybody has got his freedom. Okay. And in saying that he doesn't submit, and there are many who say that we won't submit on issues. Okay. If they don't submit, there's nobody who's going to be forced. So they go where they can submit to. That is the position. Okay. But it has a consequence. That is a faith consequence, which is very serious. If somebody says, this court is dealing with the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the portion that it was being given to handle it. If a Muslim says, I'm not interested, that I am not going to submit to the succession law that you are going to carry, then it is beyond us now, and his religiosity is in question. It is a serious issue because the Kadhis court don't have their own laws.
So are we really allowed to stereotype and say his religiosity is in question?
We are not
when he's not willing to come to the Kadhis court?
Now,
Are we in the right position to say that?
Now, what I'm saying, our religion has been the succession law is very clear, saying that these are the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Very true.
It is not a stereotyping, it is a reality.
Okay.
You know, as a Muslims, we have to talk about what we believe in our religion.
Yes.
If somebody says, I don't believe in the Quran, what is it going to be said about him? Is it a stereotyping? No, it is a reality that anybody who goes against the Quran is not a Muslim. And this is a reality. We don't have to shy away from the reality that the dogma, the faith that I have.
Okay.
I should not shy away from it. It is a reality. And in any religion has got its boundaries. And anybody who transgresses against the boundary of the religion, his status and the faith before Allah should be stated very clearly.
Maybe just to play the devil's advocate in this situation, could we reach out to the person who does not submit to the Kadhis court and ask him why he's not submitting to the Kadhis court? Maybe the experience he got at the Kadhis court the first time he went there was not as pleasing.
No,
maybe.
What we are saying is, anybody who says that he doesn't submit to the Kadhis court, the court has got no problem with it.
Yes.
He can go and go to where he likes.
Yes.
What I'm just putting behind the mind,
okay.
You know, he has his freedom, and the Constitution has given him that freedom to
yes.
go to any court that he wants.
Okay.
And the Kadhis court will not force him to come and say, you don't and we don't have. If somebody, they say they write a complaint, and the petition that they don't submit, then it is the end of that proceedings. He goes to where it submits to. But what I am talking about is the faith aspect of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Jazakallah khair. Remember, you can be part of this conversation. 0711707707 is our call-in live. 21951 is our SMS line. Horizon TV Kenya and all social media platforms. Talk to me. Let me know what you think. I'm already getting messages. Remember, when you call, please reduce the volume of your television so that we can be able to communicate. 21951. Don't you forget to tell us your name and where you're coming from. We just started. Sheikh has touched on briefly on the jurisdiction. When we come back, we're going to talk about the personal status, talk about the matters of children. It's a very pertinent issue because I'm already getting a text here about a person who took his 13-year-old kid to the court. We're going to talk about that after the break. Please don't you go away.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are now at the Arena 1.
Wait, you just stand there.
And over here we have player of the day.
I'm back to beat Hamza's team.
Is it timer?
I chose Surah Al-Mutaffifin. I don't know the names, but Nabi Isa said, I am a slave of Allah. Is it Prophet Luqman? 1 point for this team. Welcome to Active Sunday.
Things which will happen at the last day, which is very shocking.
That's not fair because I wasn't here.
It's a happy, happy, happy day. Oh, what a happy day it is.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
After much success in Nairobi and Kisumu, Global Expo is now coming to Eldoret from the 24th May till 9th June 2019 in Gulab Loshab Academy Hall to exhibit high-quality products such as carpets, clothes, furniture, kitchenware, cosmetics, foodstuff and many more. Come shop and get up to 50% discount every day from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Global Expo, we are totally different.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Abu Najma with kids. We learn Quran. We learn Quran. We learn Quran. We learn Quran. We learn Hadith. We learn Hadith. We learn Hadith. We learn Hadith. We learn the duas. We learn the duas. We learn the duas. We learn the duas. We love a prophet. We love a prophet. We love a prophet. We love a prophet. Abu Najma with kids. Abu Najma with kids. We learn Quran. We learn Quran. We learn Quran. We learn Quran. We learn Hadith.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are now at the Arena 1.
Luigi, just stand there.
And over here we have player of the day.
I'm back to beat Hamza's team.
Is it diamond?
I chose Surat al-Mutaffifin. I don't know the names, but Nabi Isa said, I am a slave of Allah. Is it Prophet Luqman?
1 point for this team.
Welcome to Active Sunday.
Things which will happen at the last day, which is very shocking.
That's not fair because I wasn't here.
It's a happy, happy, happy day. Oh, what a happy day it is for
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. We are still talking about the effectiveness of the Kadhis code. But again, we said, remember, you cannot determine whether the Kadhis code is effective or not if you don't know what you are talking about. That's why we are here to demystify the Kadhis code. And in the first segment, we have known what is the Kadhis code all about. What are the mandates? Where are the boundaries of the Kadhis code? And we are still discussing that. And we were talking about jurisdiction before we went on a very short break. Remember, you can be part of this conversation. 0711707707. Call in live. 21951 is our SMS line. Horizon TV Kenya across all social media platforms. Join in the conversation. Let's talk. Semana Mimi. Brother, jurisdiction. We were talking about that and you seem like very urged. There's something to talk about jurisdiction.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
Jurisdiction in law is everything.
Okay.
Without authority, the Kadhi court has no power.
Okay.
But now, because of the provision, the law, it says that the party must submit.
Okay.
But in terms of submission, you as a Muslim, when you do not submit, the problem arises, you do not submit and you have brought, you have taken your matter to the regular courts and it's a matter of succession. Succession and the distribution of inheritance of property is clearly stated out in the Quran. If it is distributed contrary to the Quran, where is your position? Okay. That is why, I'm just adding to what he's saying, that is why he's emphasizing that you as a Muslim, it is your obligation. It's not an option. It's your obligation to submit before the Kadhi's court. Secondly, even if you're dissatisfied with the decision of the Kadhi's court, when you begin your case in terms of an Islamic perspective, whenever you appeal, the rules that will apply will be as per Islamic law.
Okay, interesting. Very good to know. Kadhi Sukyan, you have something to add on that?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The issue of submission as in the Constitution is something which is not never discussed in our understanding. It was sneaked at 11th hour behind the back and we do not know its origin.
Really?
Really. That's a big problem that we have. It was never discussed. That is how we do not know how it came in, but it is there.
Okay.
And the harm that it brought for those people who perhaps for their weakness in faith, perhaps, as my brother put it, it has become a first line of defense. Normally, what happens in court, anybody who has been sued by whoever, and in our case, the majority of the court users who initiate the case are ladies.
Interesting.
Now, when the matter is being brought before this court, normally, not only this court, each and every court, normally the party who has been sued finds way of destabilizing that case. Normally, that's a tradition in every case, in one way or the other. Bring in the PO, there's pre objections, applications and counter applications, so that the matter will not see it is finality. That's what's happening. Now, the Constitution has given what they call a direct license. Certificate that people will use to defend. It's a Constitution again to say that no. Now, my understanding is a little bit different from what. In as much as the issue of the jurisdiction is the first thing, is very fundamental. If you have no jurisdiction, you cannot move an inch. Because you have no authority to go on. Right? But in my view, if this party said, I'm not submitting, in my view, if it's my court, the practice is that you must substantiate why you don't submit.
Thanks so much for that.
Now from there we move. The court will analyze and give it its ruling. If you are not submitting, the rest of the parties are submitting. So, for example, it's a succession case. The rest of the parties, maybe 20 siblings are submitting. One is not submitting. What do you do?
We'll get to that. Answer that. Because we have a call in live right now that we need to pick up. Horizontv, hello. Horizontv, hello.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. What's your good name and where are you calling us from?
This is Ibrahim.
Yes. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Tenerife.
Welcome, brother.
Yes, my question is an issue of custody of children. A situation whereby you're married and you have some kids with a wife, then you divorced. Then after divorce, the children were with her mother. The mother got married recently. And she's still having the children, but now I want to transfer the custody to me, that is the father. What is now the ruling on the Kadhis court in that situation?
Have you reported
especially that? Meaning that the first kid is 4.5 years and the second kid is 3 years. Yeah, the second question. What if now the mother refuses to transfer the custody to the father and the children are now under her custody?
Thank you so much for that question. Just to ask a question before you go, have you is that matter before a court?
It's not yet before a court, but I'm in a process.
It's in the process?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's going to be answered. Thank you. Sheikh, just to finish on, on the issue of jurisdiction. So if one does not submit to the court and the other submit to the court, what happens in that situation?
Well, each and every judicial officer have his own way of doing things. Personally, what I consider is the general provisions of the Constitution. There's general law and the specific provisions of the law. Remember, this just as a clause, small clause in the Constitution. Right? But there's Constitution which dealt with the Kadhis, establishment of the Kadhis court. Now, if the same Constitution or a clause in the Constitution says that if you don't submit, then that's the end of it. Then it doesn't go well. There's no reason why you should establish the Kadhis court then. Because obviously it's going to be a first line of defense. People will be Therefore, my view is that the court has to consider such kind of application or objection on its merit and decide. Just like an ordinary PO. That's my understanding.
And you already say that it was brought in at the 11th hour and you don't know how it came in. So you generally have an idea of how it should be. Before we continue, Sheikh Ibrahim Lithomi is on the call that maybe you need to talk. Sheikh Ibrahim Lithomi, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh Ibrahim Lithomi.
Welcome. May I begin by thanking the two Kadhis, the former Deputy Chief Kadhi and the current Deputy Kadhi, Chief Kadhi. and the lawyer. Let me say this as a retired officer of that court, because I appeared before the Kadhis court almost 15 years, including it before the former deputy chief Kadhi. I want to reiterate what the young lawyer said here, the effectiveness of the Kadhis court. I would like the viewers to know one thing. Whereas the other courts are usually tied by technicalities, one of the very unique things, and it's very good for the Kadhis court, is that it is a fact-finding court. They are usually driven by the facts and not technicalities. And any lawyer appearing before that court will notice that. And for me, this is one of the biggest blessings that we Muslims in Kenya have, that we have these courts that guide us according to the Quran and Sunnah, and they are very effective. That is number one. Number two, I heard Sheikh Rashid talking about that small clause about submitting to the jurisdiction. I was part of the constitution-making team, the CKRC team, and for me, of course, I know there was that problem of people who did not want the Kadhis court, and that was almost a compromise. And for we, who are Muslim lawyers and also part of the constitution-making process, of course, we are not happy with that element of submitting. Once I'm a Muslim, should there be a question of submitting or not submitting? But we comforted ourselves, just like the former Deputy Chief Kadhi said, Sheikh Abdul Rashid. I don't expect any Muslim, any true Muslim, to have a choice about submitting to the Quran or not submitting. We have no choice. So for us, it's not even a question of Sheikh Sukyan or Abdul Rashid. It's the question of our scholars educating Muslims about the importance of submitting themselves to Qala Allahu wa Qala Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It's simply that. So I think the biggest problem we have here is ignorance about the Kadhis code, the effectiveness, and how blessed it is that I am living in a country that is not ruled by Islamic law. But here the constitution tells me for your succession matters, your divorce matters, your marriage matters, the maintenance of children and other related personal matters. And here I'm saying it deliberately because it is not limited to those three issues. Then what choice do I have about submitting or not submitting? Every Muslim should submit to the Kadhis court. And if you're not satisfied with the ruling, you can appeal. So this is what I want to say. And this program, I want to congratulate you, Faisal, and Horizon for picking this topic. And I do hope this is the beginning of a long journey where people will be educated through Horizon about the importance of the Kadhis code. Thank you. Shukran. And may Allah accept your song and all of this.
Amen. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much, Sheikh Ibrahim Lithome. Yes. We still have to talk about jurisdiction. Sheikh, as we are talking about jurisdiction, because there's a very important issue that has been brought up, and I would like us to talk about it, about the kids. Matters jurisdiction. You said it was brought in at the 11th hour. Sheikh Ibrahim Lithome said he was at the Bomas, the constitutional review process. And right now, as you clearly said in your opening remarks, that we are on the verge of a referendum. Have you submitted this as one of the recommendations to remove that clause of submission? Just a very quick answer, yes or no?
Yes, really. We have a raft of amendments that we suggested, including 24.4 itself, which says that the matters concerning the Muslims is limited only to when the matter appears before the Kadhis court.
Yes.
We suggested that this will be rolled out to the rest of the Kadhis, of the court. That's one. Submission also, we address it as a number of other things through the Muslim Consultative Forum, which is dealing with the issue of...
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Fair enough. Just to bring it to your attention, the Chief Kadhi Sheikh Ahmed Muhdar is on record saying that matters to do with children, custody, and anything to do with the children is out of the jurisdiction of the Kadhis court. It's out of the boundaries. It's not something that you deal with. It is something that should be handled by the children court. And you clearly say the personal status includes custody of the children, the maintenance of the children, the upkeep, and all that. A caller called in from Tenerife say that he divorced his wife. Currently, the wife is remarried and he wants to transfer the custody of the children from the mother to him. And the boss of the Kadhis court, the Chief Kadhi, is saying that this is not matters to be handled with the Kadhi, but the children's court. What's your take on that, gentlemen?
It is is really a task to be dealt with. And my colleague here, the Kadhis are aware. The Chief Kadhi is also aware. This is an issue of jurisprudence, first of all.
Okay.
And a jurisprudence, the Chief Kadhi is not the custodian of the jurisprudence. The Kadhis are scholars, all of them. He has his views on this issue. And it has actually, for we who want the Kadhis court progression, it a bit disturbed us.
Okay.
However, it is good that majority of the Kadhis deal with children's matters. Why? Because the Kadhis Act is very clear that there are 4 issues which we are supposed to handle it. Personal status, comma, that is what the Constitution is writing, comma.
Okay.
It is a separate thing. Then we have marriage,
Okay.
comma, divorce, or inheritance. You have these 4 areas of jurisdiction that the Kadhis court. The divorce issues, in its nature, when people are talking about divorce, it is not divorce per se. It is just a figure that has also a lot of things inside it. When we talk of marriage, it is not marriage per se. It has a discipline by itself, called a nikah. Talaq is also a discipline by itself. Inheritance is the same. When it's being talked about inheritance, what does it mean? It does not. So the act, I mean the Constitution, the article, is not very clear.
Brother Farah, would you mind lending Sheikh the microphone, please? Yes.
Then the personal status.
Yes.
What is it? The Kenyan law does not have actually a definition to personal status.
Okay.
We just, when they want to look into personal status, they go to the Black Law Dictionary. Black Laws Dictionary, and they define it from there.
Okay.
The personal status in Islam is very clear, and there are books written about it. The maintenance is not there. If you talk about the maintenance, if it is not ancillary to the divorce and marriage, then you cannot have maintenance there. But it is part, it is ancillary, it is auxiliary to the element. So, if you want to say the personal status in the Constitution is anybody who tells you, it is very clear personal status. The act itself, I mean the article itself is ambiguous.
Okay.
Because it does not actually clarify what does personal status means. It does not clarify what marriage means. It does not clarify the scope of actually the divorce and inheritance. Where will we go? We want actually the Kadhis Act to be actually amended, and it is time and they be clarified for it actually to talk about what is the scope of personal status. According to Islam, children is part of it, and the Prophet ﷺ dealt in the marriage aspect when divorce has taken place. This issue of children matters. It is not an issue that today is where we are going to bring it. The Prophet dealt with it, and a woman came to the Prophet ﷺ as the first judge.
Yes.
And she told, this man wants to snatch from me my child when he is now assisting me. The Prophet said, the child is yours as long as you don't have a second marriage.
Okay. Lovely.
So, who did the judgment of the children custody is the Prophet.
The Prophet.
And there is no way any Muslim Kadhi should say that this is not part of it. And if he says, he must have erred.
You said those are his views. I'll just like to, Brother Farah, sorry, I just need to jump into Kadhi Sukyan. Here's his mic. You say that he said that majority of the Kadhis are actually taking up children's cases. What about the minority, the ones that are not taking up children's cases? You, as number 2 in command, what have you done about it?
Thank you again. The position of the chief, we do respect. Normally, we have to respect each other.
Yes.
All of us. Personally, I have research. Small research. My LLM thesis was all about the custody of the children, or jurisdiction of the Kadhis court regarding the custody of the children. And the whole thing that was provoked by the High Court turning down my rulings on the same. So I moved on. And my finding is that even the Children's Act, which people normally rely on, doesn't expressly provide for that. Oust the jurisdiction of the Kadhis court or any other courts. Doesn't.
Even the children?
Yes, yes. And that's the main reference. The main reference. So what it does, it only established a special court for the children.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. Apart from that, there is nothing that expressly ousts the jurisdiction of the Kadhis court or any other court for that matter. Okay. Right? And the superior courts have differed in their opinion, in their rulings, in the same. Okay.
Regarding the matters children.
Exactly. Some say yes, every court have that jurisdictions.
Okay.
Others say no, this is limited to the children's court. So there are people who are people reason different way.
Okay.
Right. So this is the position that we have. So the Kadhis, personally, apart from the chief, I'm not aware of any Kadhi who doesn't entertain the matter related to children court. Personally. Okay.
So it's only one court.
That's the only thing that we. But the predicament that we have, remember the chief Kadhi has by law the power to assess the appeals.
Okay.
He's a person of the first line. If not him, then 2 Kadhis will be there. That is what the civil procedure provides for.
Yes.
Okay. Now, with the matter regarding the children, custody of the children, and the Kadhi has ruled this and that, would appeal against, obviously the Kadhi will advise the judge otherwise.
Okay.
That's the only challenges that we have. Otherwise, hope things will be okay.
Inshallah.
But this I think is understanding of the chief. We have spoken to him.
Okay.
I hope inshallah he will join the call.
Just to pick my brother Farah Jama'a on the same issue, very fast, because we have to go on a very short break.
Okay. In relation to the issue of children,
yes,
jurisprudence is developed by our courts.
Yes.
In instances where there is no clarity, like in this case where there is no clarity, you will find that those who are inclined to say that the Kadhi court has jurisdictions, and there are those that will say the Kadhi court does not have jurisdiction.
So there's some level of ambiguity.
There's a level of ambiguity, and either way, it's something that's debatable.
Okay. Yeah. Which is something that, of course, again, you can forward it as part of your recommendations to the referendum, inshallah. Is that okay? Exactly, gentlemen, ladies, that's how we wrap up the second segment of this show. Remember, you can be part of this conversation. 0711707707 21951 is our SMS line. Horizon TV Kenya and all our social media platforms. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, and you're going to be back after this very short break. Don't you go away, please.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Walk with us as we tell you the stories of our society.
Wengine atavaa mtandio kichwani, utafikiri ni kijihandkerchief.
Enzi za wakati wa kusema ati alisema, akasisitiza, akihutubia wanahabari, enzi hizo hazipo tena.
Kuchimbua na kunakili matukio kwa undani.
We want to create current awareness,
ranging from adventure, human interest and inspirational stories,
ili kuweza kukuelimisha, kukuburudisha na kukubumbuisha.
Words have been said, but now it is time to lay the foundation that will impact the world.
Terrorism is terrorism, no matter who is behind the trigger.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are now at the Arena 1. And over here we have player of the day.
I'm back to beat Hamza's team.
Is it time?
I chose Surah Al-Mutaffifin. I don't know the names, but Nabi Isa said, I am a slave of Allah. Is it Prophet Luqman?
1 point for this team.
Welcome to Active Sunday.
Things which will happen at the last day, which is very shocking.
Wailun lil mutaffifin.
That's not fair because I wasn't here.
It's a happy day. Oh, what a happy day it is for Active Sunday.
Assalamu alaikum, jina langu ni Sumaya Hassan.
NEC member wa Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims. When I think about refugee youth in Kenya, I feel that if I was to help us make this dua a reality, please join us in donating whatever you can towards this Ramadan appeal for educating refugees in Kenya. Remember, nothing is too small.
Limerejea tena kubwa na bora zaidi. Tamasha la kimataifa la ununuzi, sherekea mwisho wa mwezi wa Ramadhan na shamra za Eidul Fitri katika onyesho la biashara la 22 la Misri na Mashariki ya Kati, Westlands Sarit Center. Njoo kuanzia Jumatano tarehe 29 mwezi wa Mei hadi tarehe 9 mwezi wa Juni mwaka 2019. Furahia bidhaa zetu maridadi na zenye thamani kuanzia fanicha, mazulia, vyombo vya jikoni, vyakula, pazia, vifaa vya kutumia umeme vya nyumbani, vipodozi, nguo, bidhaa za ngozi, manukato na bidhaa nyinginezo kutoka Misri, India, Iran, Kenya, Pakistan, Uturuki, Syria na Singapore. Usikose fursa kutembelea onyesho kubwa zaidi la biashara kila siku kuanzia saa 4 asubuhi hadi saa 2 usiku na upate bidhaa kwa bei ya hadi punguzo la 50%. Njoo usherekee mwisho wa Ramadhani na ukaribishe Eidul Fitri katika onyesho la biashara la 22 la Misri na Mashariki ya Kati Sarit Center Westlands kuanzia Jumatano tarehe 29 mwezi wa Mei hadi tarehe 9 mwezi wa Juni kuanzia saa 4 asubuhi hadi saa 2 usiku. Kiingilio ni bure.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Join me every week for only 30 minutes to know more about our beautiful country Kenya. Kuna watu wa sita walishikwa. Kenya, it's fun. Sasa kompyuta kwa Kiswahili inaitwaje?
Kompyuta tajulia wapi? Shuleni bala.
Cha mkufu mwanaku ha akiha hu. Akiha hu bado kuna nusu ingine imebaki.
It's educative.
Kongo karoba, bizi kagia, ushengoreko, ready to buy.
Which Khalifa's time was the Quran compiled? Different cultures. Different languages. India. All this is celebrating diversity. Ero. Wait. I like you, Masai. This is a street quiz show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Thank you so much, Amina Mohammed, right there with my executive producer, that is Ali Rashid Mochuo, and Suleiman Nachasa of Tumbo. Thank you so much. Gentlemen, this is the third segment, and we have to be quite fast about this. Appointment of the Kadhis, let's talk about that, particularly the top Kadhis, the first top positions. How do we go about it? Do we have an application? What's the procedure? Because there is the notion that Kadhis have to be coming from a particular community and a particular region. Can you touch on that, gentlemen?
Bismillah. It is not right. It is not true that Kadhis come from a particular region.
Okay, particularly the top Kadhis,
at the meantime,
okay,
the Kadhis may be the ones who are from interior are more than the ones who are from coast.
Okay.
However, the way it used to be may be because that is where the Kadhis court came from. But at the meantime, I don't think whether that will be the criteria for somebody to come from coast. It's
But
not the
until now,
criteria.
that has been the criteria.
Yes, but what is going to happen, you know that we didn't even have Deputy Chief Kadhi previously.
Yes.
It started with me.
Yes.
And I think by now, the way judiciary is going, it is a merit.
Okay.
And it is actually going to be done according just like the other judicial officers.
Okay.
They are going to be interviewed, and I hope the next Chief Kadhi will actually be interviewed the way actually he was being interviewed and everybody.
So initially it used to be on appointment basis.
Yes.
But right now it's going to go through the normal JSC process. That is advertisement by the Judicial Service Commission.
Because of the transformation that the judicial has taken place,
okay,
it will be actually as a merit issue.
Okay.
It is not. It is going to be advertised, and just the way now even the promotions of the Kadhis is being advertised, and they go actually into the judicial Service Commission's interview,
The
and they are being promoted, shortlisting, and everything. That is what is going to happen.
That's what's going to happen. But that's not what has been happening.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Sheikh, is that the same process you went through?
Well, personally, I know that when I was employed,
yes,
I went through a very competitive interview. The same way I rose through the ladder through a competitive interviews.
Okay.
And I believe that is the way each and every one of us have come into the system.
Oh, okay.
Therefore, everybody is there on merit. And that is the work of JSC, and details lies with them. But that is exactly what we think that it happens.
And that's what's going to happen across all the board, across all the Kadhis.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just hold on that. Horizon TV, hello.
Hello?
Hello, Horizon TV.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, my name is Zubaida from Mombasa.
Yes, Zubaida, welcome.
Ningependa kuchangia
Yes.
kuhusu Kadhi Court.
Okay.
I'm a concerned Muslim,
Yes.
and my question goes to the legal mind in the panel.
Okay.
What is their take regarding confidentiality or privacy of matters brought to Kadhi Court?
Okay.
Because the other day, I read an article in the mainstream print media
Okay.
about a couple who sought legal redress at the Kadhi Court,
Okay.
only for the entire story to be published in the newspaper.
Oh.
These are private citizens who are probably their issues handled privately, and that's why they're going to Kadhi Court probably and not going to the conventional court. So nashindwa sasa, kama unaenda ku seek redress, mambo yako yote yanawekwa kwenye gazeti jamani. Is that fair?
Wow.
Is that how Kadhi Court operates?
Okay.
Kindly let the legal mind address this. Shukran.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And that's where we're going to start from, because that was going to be the second part of the conversation, confidentiality of the cases. Because on Twitter we have at Kenya Muslim News saying, what are the Kadhis doing? What are the Kadhis doing to ensure the private details about people who go to the court remain private and don't leak out to third parties, including the media? Such cases are increasing. Are Kadhis doing enough to protect private?
And in relation to that, when you go to the Kadhi's court, it's no longer private. The hearing is done in open court.
Okay.
Even in relation to these other matters that go to the magistrate's court, they're all recorded. It's before members of the public. And I don't know about the story she's talking about, but I'm assuming...
published on Wednesday in one of the dailies.
I'm assuming that maybe it could be, you never know what were the circumstances. Maybe it could be one of the parties. But as it is, whenever you go to the Kadhi, it's public. You go to these other courts, family division, they put all the reports on, it's on the internet, Kenya Law Reports.
So it's not
you
private.
open, you see the parties. But in terms of the lower courts, like the magistrate's court, there isn't a lot of reporting on this issue. But privacy does come in certain cases, especially in relation to children,
so
where they
private.
use initials. But once you go to the Kadhi, it's not private. But it means that maybe there are other scenarios that cause this case to go public. But other than that, all cases That's why the court, it's a public sitting. You
Please
can go and
straight.
sit.
So it is not private?
It's not private.
No matter the case?
No matter the case.
Thank you.
Yes, I concur with him.
Okay.
The courts are not private entities. Courts are public entities. And what is required in courts is that all hearings should be done in actually courtrooms.
Okay.
Therefore, the issue of saying maybe the children matters is looked at because of the matter, the seriousness of the children in camera. Okay. But all the other things, there is nothing private. Okay. So anybody who wants the Kadhis to protect these things as private, no, the files are there. And the files, anybody can come and ask for a file, the parties itself.
Okay.
And even advocates, if you go to the courts, they go, I mean the media, go and get actually the files.
Okay.
And they are also being published.
Nice.
In the Kenyan law reports and everything whatsoever it may be. Okay. So let people not take that we deal with courts which are private. These courts are not private. It is a public entity.
Before we go into the challenges that you are facing as an institution, maybe I'd like to ask you a question. Deputy Chief Kadhi, do you think you, or rather you should be included in the Muslim leadership circles as Muslim leaders, as community leaders, as an institution? Particularly the talk of the chief and yourself.
This will remind me sometimes back when Jama'a Mosque, in collaboration with the judiciary, had a training workshop for the Kadhis. And they expressed their expectations from the Kadhis. We are different from the rest of the judicial officers.
Okay.
We are Muslim leaders by our right, and we should be seen to participate in the leadership circle of the community. Right. That being said, where we are leaders already. We are leaders. And a time comes where we might be find ourselves in a conflicting situation.
Okay.
Therefore, it is better that we be reserved at where we are. We are reserved at where we are, but where the issues arises that maybe we cannot be we must be there, then we'll be flexible to be there. But it's not must that we must participate in the leadership circles of the community.
Just to get the point straight, that you are leaders and you should be held accountable as Muslim leaders equally. Am I getting that right?
Exactly, yes. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for that clarification. So the stones thrown at the institution regarding the moon sighting, are they justified?
Yeah. Of course it's justified. We are there. We have been seen to be there, and we found ourselves to be exactly there. And the stone thrown in or blames here and there is something normal. If you are in charge with a public responsibility, right? There's blame here and there. While this is blaming, others are praising.
Okay.
Remember the issue of the moon sighting, how interesting it is.
Yes.
Okay, it's either this side or that side. If you go this way, the one who goes other side will blame you. If you go the other side, that's just normal. That's normal. But of course, that being said, we need to take a due diligence when we are dealing with this.
Okay.
Something very, very important. If we will be able to bring the Muslims together, the better.
Thank you
and
so
that
much.
one does not stop only at the Chief Kadhi or the Kadhis. Okay? It needs participation of all of us.
Thank you so much. We have a call coming in. Horizontv, hello. Horizontv, hello.
Halo, assalamu
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Mimi naitwa Sharifu kutoka Lakisama.
Naam, Sharifu kutoka Lakisama.
Mwanzo ningependa kuwapongeza Chief Kadhi retired Mr. Omar.
Naam, shukran sana.
Na pia huyu mgeni mwenye amevaa kanzu ya blue.
Okay.
Deputy Chief Kadhi.
Naam.
Nawapongeza kwa sababu walifanya kesi yangu ya divorce.
Okay.
Na nilishukuru vile walifanya hiyo kesi.
Naam.
Lakini kuna vitu viwili ambavyo ningependa kuchangia.
Okay.
Kitu ya kwanza ni racism in marriage.
Okay.
Racism yani unaweza pata wewe ni wa kabila fulani alafu umeoa msichana kwa kabila fulani. Alafu familia ya msichana sana sana inaanza kuinterfere na hiyo marriage. Na kwa sababu wako na pesa wanatumia maloya.
Okay.
Kukufrustrate lakini wanajificha chini ya hizi Kadhis court.
Okay.
Aya, kitu ya pili Nimeongea kuhusu racism, sio?
Yes.
Kitu ya pili ningeomba, sijui kama Chief Kadhi washaiangalia wakaona kwamba wanawake wengi sana wanakimbilia huko.
Okay.
Unapata mwanamke anafanya makosa, wewe kama mwanaume unaelewa, kwa sababu unataka ndoa yako. Lakini pia kwa sababu wako na pesa na wanaweza hire lawyer.
Okay.
Wanaenda wanajificha huko kwa Chief Kadhi, unapata kwamba wananunua mpaka P3 kwa police station, lakini zinakuja zinatumika kama evidence, na wewe mwanaume kwa sababu huna uwezo wa kupata lawyer, inabidi ukubali tu vile mambo inakuwa, wewe ufanye uendelee na maisha yako, unaelewa?
Okay.
Although nashukuru sana vile huyu assistant Chief Kadhi alifanya kesi yangu. Lakini upande mwingine unapata tu ni dhuluma kutoka kwa Muislamu mwenzako, lakini amejificha, anatumia Kadhi's court, anapata, yani kesi sasa inakuwa upande wake. Yani kama anapata haki, lakini wewe ni kama dhuluma ambaye ndio uko naye ama umepewa, unaelewa?
Nashukuru sana. Shukran sana brother.
Jazakallah
khair. Which brings in another issue. We have been getting complaints from our social media platforms, particularly from the women folk. This is quite going to the contrary. He's saying that the Kadhis are biased towards the women. But again, majority of the feedback we have been receiving says that the Kadhis are more biased towards the men. Most of the times, they rule the cases based on the men favor. They're patriarchal.
Thank you. Actually, the reality is different. First of all, there is nothing called biasness. The reality is, when we are doing judgments or rulings, we follow the law. Where the issues are not very clear, we try to handle it the way actually best fits. And therefore, maybe we had many of the men talking about this court is a feminine court. Many of them are saying, and even if they confronted us, some of them are saying that actually you favor women, and some of the women also say the same. But I know this court, the people who actually attend to it, majority of them, 90% are women. They are the ones who come and bring the complaints. That has been said. The issue of racism, which has been talked about, it is an issue which is supposed to be handled very clearly, and the Muslims should be looking into.
That's a topic that was handled this morning by a very able Aisha at the round table. So maybe we can just be brief on that issue.
Yes, I want to be brief on it. That actually it is a reality.
Okay.
Islam does not actually consider the issue of race in marriage. It is the one which is based in taqwa and the religion issues. But now, in our situation, because of the culture, the clans, the tribal differences in Kenya that we have, the people have their own cultural backgrounds. This is what influences the marriage. Even if we actually say, let us follow Islam and do the marriage, later in time you see that the family will involve, this marriage will not be healthy. Unless we Islamize ourselves. The reality which is there with us is racism is there with us. And then we have to bridge it and follow Islam if we want the reality, the issue.
Thanks so much. Kadhi Sukyan, I'd like to, as we are winding up, I'd just like to bring your mind to meet the issue of Kadhi being patriarchal, the Kadhi's institution being patriarchal, that is favoring the men's side more. There are two questions that are, of course, meeting up the same issue. One says that, Assalamu alaikum, I left my ex 13 years ago. I went to the Kadhi's court. I explained to them that I left him because he wasn't praying. I was told to go back and be patient. I'm asking, how long? For how long should I be patient? And am I still married or divorced or what? I had 6 kids with him. He's abroad. I'm here with his father. And he's the one helping me to raise the kids. Another one says that, I'm Safia from Mukuru, Konjangaf. Thanks for bringing this conversation. I went to the Kadhi's court for my divorce case and it took so long until I gave up. Now, is the Kadhi's court being patriarchal? Is it favoring the men's side more than the women's side?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for that pertinent question. The Kadhi's court does not favor any gender. This court, like any other court, give its rulings and decisions based on the evidence given. Okay? And according to the law. That is what exactly we do. If anything, perhaps from my experience, I may say that the rulings that I made, and I think the same with the rest of the Kadhis, do favor, okay, in high percentage, ladies than men.
Really?
The reason is this way.
Okay.
The reason is this way. The reason is that many men, they don't opt to defend. Like the gentleman who asked a question, okay? When it comes to the issue of the marriage or whatever, they don't want to make an argument with their wives, okay? The only thing that they insist is the sustainability of the marriage.
Okay.
Let us sustain the marriage. One thing is very true. Is our silent policy. We don't hasten divorce cases. Let us be very clear.
Okay.
And that will remain our policy also. Okay? We have experience. People who have gone for divorces, and after a short while, they come confronting us whether it is a way of going back to each other again. This is a family matter. Okay? The effect of the divorce is so big. It affects the parties, it affects the children, it affects the family, and the community at large. Normally we buy our time. Personally, my practice, when the parties come, the lawyer knows. I ask them, please, why don't you try to make a mediation outside there? I give you time, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I buy time for the interest of the parties. There are such cases which, from outlook of it, requires an attention, an urgent attention.
Do you mediate yourself or
no,
you refer to a third party?
We do not. We do not. You see, we are not providing that. It's unethical. Okay? We have to push it out and say that, try to do that. We advise the parties to do that. But if they insist, we continue. We don't force on them.
Okay.
We don't force on them. But that is what we offer. And that is anchored in our law. Sharia. وإن خفتم الشقاق بينهما فابعثوا حكما من أهله وحكما من أهلها. These are basic things, very important. Okay? It's anchored in our constitution. Exactly. That's exactly what we are doing. For the interest of the parties and also for the community. That's how we are.
Precisely. Thank you so much. Maybe we just start with you for your parting shot. Please, for your parting shot. Because of time, we need to go for evening adhkar, and then it's almost time for Maghrib as well. Parting shot, sir. Your parting shot.
I have 3 requests to make.
Okay.
One, the Kadhis, my fellow Kadhis, to be more proactive and be also vigilant, especially on the issue of the confidentiality which has been said.
Okay.
And also sensitive to the people. These are people, when people come to us, they're desperate. Right? They're not coming for a wedding. It's the last point. They have tried their best, they could not. Mostly. That's how we are. Secondly, I want to pose a challenge to the lawyers. My fellow, please. Our lawyers mainly argue on the issue of the procedure. The Kadhis court applied the substantive Islamic law. I've never seen in my life a lawyer coming and arguing the issue of the substantive Islamic law. We need to go that way. We need to develop our jurisprudence through that. Instead of bringing to me cases of the precedents of the higher authority, higher courts, bring to me ayahs and the verses from the courts.
And the hadith.
And the hadith. Okay, that's how we grow. Explore other areas that we have mentioned, the gift, the endowments, and so many other areas that we have, which are silent. People don't touch on it. Yet we have them.
Okay.
It's the lawyers who are supposed to bring that. Ordinary people don't know that. Okay? And then to the public, our esteemed clients, please, this is your court. Have trust in it. If you have any issue, it's the only court which is more approachable, easily accessed, and we determine our matters very, very, very diligently. Okay. And that is very clear from the PMMU. The reports that we have, the cards are scale on top of the rest of the courts.
Okay.
Okay? That doesn't mean that we don't have our shortcomings. We have our shortcomings. Okay? Please, where we have the shortcomings, correct us in a human way. We are also human.
Okay.
We are also human.
Yes.
So that's what my respect, my request. Kindly let's cooperate all of us and try to enhance this court. It's our institution. It's ours. It's historical institutions. We need to enhance it.
Thank you so much. Brother Farah.
Yeah, for me, my parting shot is to all Muslims.
Yes.
You must empower the Kadhi court. You do not know what benefit you have. There are people who are not in Kenya, they wish they had a Kadhi court. These are personal matters. In your personal matters, you will not feel like you've found haqq if you're a Muslim. If you do not you do not have rights and obligations that you're used to, that you know as a Muslim. Because some of these things people don't need to be told that much. That's why I want them to go to the Kadhi court. Don't submit to these other courts. And also, it's a privilege. It's not, I mean, when you look at the country we're in a country that is not majority Muslim, but we have been given this court. They must empower it. Do not let it down.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Sheikh Rashid.
For
the
lady who said that, for how long I'm going to wait, please,
yes.
If you feel that actually you are unable, what the Kadhi has said, Sukyan, is true. We don't haste in divorce. Why? We had about 1,200 cases last year for divorce. Imagine if we would have allowed all these ones to go into divorce. In only one court, what will happen to the Muslims of Kenya? So it is a policy which is very important that a Kadhi should not rush in divorce. Aweke pole pole, he sentences for arbitration, mediation, goes to the family, we dilly-dally. Because we will create more problems in divorce than actually we will, than divorcing women. It is very easy to divorce, but it is very difficult to reunite. Therefore, that one, you should not blame us. But if you see that you have a problem and this man is in outside, just go and file a case with the Kadhi's court. To the community now.
Yes.
The community are just talking outside. They don't know what is happening in Kadhi's court. That is the reality. 24 years. And how many years? 10 years I was in this court. The Muslim community and the Muslim leaders did not come and attend to the Kadhi's court and actually ask the problems and the prospects. They are just outside. We invited them, some of them even. They are not coming to the court. When they also want to talk about the negativity of the court, these courts have evolved. They have changed. We want you youths to go in groups, all men to go and visit Kadhi Sukyan and the court and see the change which has taken in the Kadhi's court than just blaming it. And this is your court. Go and, if we have a problem, these Kadhis have a problem, go and advise them. They are your brothers. But the courts are not the old courts. They have changed. We are now these courts are turning to be just like the other courts. Even the Kadhi's court at Nairobi is not categorized in the court in the Kadhi's court category. They are categorized at magisterial levels because of the standard we are doing it, and that is what judiciary looked at. So even when it was rating, the way it was rated, this court in the Upper Hill was just at the magistrate level. It is higher than the other courts.
Yes.
So, and that is what the way we have put it. Therefore, please, instead of blaming it, if we have their weaknesses, the court's weaknesses, and I know there are a lot of blames, and they are human beings, let us support them. This is your courts. It is an opportunity that Allah has given you. Instead of thrashing it and killing it, go and try to see how to enhance it. Give your creativity to the Kadhi's court so that they change and the paradigm shift should take place. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and in the lines of my very able brother, do not criticize without constructing. Those are very important lines. So for as much as we want to criticize, let us also remember to construct. That is how we bring this show to an end. Thank you so much for being a very lovely audience. Let us meet next week, same place, same time, but with a different topic. The moon wars, the moon fighting, not the moon sighting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have been your host, Faisal Kassim. See you next week.
Thank you.